This project is a collaboration between 5 poets and musicians who were commissioned to create new poems and musical works on the theme of 1921. Their combination of words and music will lead us past the hard politics of the era to reflect more the social, cultural and creative Ireland. And in doing so, combine the mythical with the political, the past with the present, and the local with the international. Our poets, Nuala O Connor, Luke Morgan, Emily Cullen, Louis Dupuer, and Noelle Lynskey, worked with musicians and composers Ciaran Cannon, Jake Morgan, Ger Fahy, Dana Lynn, Emily Greaney, Tomas and Roisin Mannion, to combine words and rhythms in their expression and exploration of this dialogue. To quote Poetry Ireland, these overlaps are unmistakable. Sound and rhythm combined in the expression and exploration of emotion. It's a combination of art forms that can't be overlooked in Irish traditions. From the bards who travelled early Ireland's roads, setting words to harp accompaniments, to collaborations that attempt to move the listener beyond words into pure melody. Poetry and music are a near constant dialogue.
Athenry, 12th of July, 1921. Epigraph. The main cause of disloyalty in the county were the priests and the women of Athenry. RIC Inspector for Galway East, 1916. I wake to a sweep of swallows, the light falling slant against walls. A new word, truce, on my tongue. It has seeped into my deepest sleep. I'm trying to make sense of the term. Truce. Does this mean we nearly won? What would Pearse tell us now? What would Connolly command? No more curfews or armoured lorries. We're free to walk the streets at night, free to fly the tricolour again, to sing the soldier's song. We will clear the land of Crown forces. We proved they can't coerce us. Can I get my old heart back to before it was primed for combat? Before I became adept at packing a haversack, before I was geared up to don my green cap and regalia, with letters for Cumann na Món, loitering over a rifle, as if I were an aspiring sniper. Must I learn to let everything go? Behold the handmaid of Fola. I stare in the pain at my reflection. Am I destined for perdition, or do I still own a shining soul? Yes, I signed up for freedom through force when there seemed no other option. Yes, I want to let go of the gun, but I badly want Saoirse for Éireann. Truce. Does this mean we nearly won? What would Pearse tell us now? What would Connolly command? At just 25, will I have to make a truce with time? Will I have to make a truce with this place, its medieval walls, hushed secrets? My eyes rest on the golden clasps of my great-aunt's hope chest, her trousseau of timeless pine, cedar-lined to keep moths out. But I have a love to contemplate. Don't feel ready to emigrate. Truce. Does this mean we nearly won? What would Pearse tell us now? What would Connolly command? Must I make a truce with the land, I will never be allowed to farm, though it's me who gets up to milk the cows, who carries the lore of ancient fields. Me who brings in money for eggs, peddles our wares at the market square. Must I make a truce with my kin, my brother Sean, the eldest son? Don't ask me to make a truce with that, as if women are merely second class, cut out for selling tricolour badges to collect monies at hurling matches, though we're fighting with the volunteers. And I've been up so late again, tending to wounded men, packing first aid kits with gauze, iodine, ointment, dressings. What of the equal citizenship promised in the proclamation? How it vexes me to think of all our operations. Mary Kate smuggled ammunition. Bridget brought Mello's uniform across on the train from Dublin. I carried notes, brought dispatches in my bicycle basket. Didn't the Countess herself show us how to be skilled marksmen? Not even the head of the RIC could quell the women of Athenry. There's talk of an imminent treaty. They have to acknowledge our nationhood. I'm weary from the long campaign of guerrilla attacks, blown up barracks, raids by those brutes in black and khaki. Poor Eileen Quinn, poor Father Griffin, found in a bog, now reigning in heaven. And they wired Griffith to look for this truce. Yes, it must mean we've nearly won. I will make a banner to welcome the columns returning from hiding out in the mountains. I want to let go of the gun, and I badly want Saoirse for Éireann. We'll make this truce. We have to move on, but we won't lose hope of Irish freedom. I will keep my Easter lily pressed between the pages of Mitchell's journal, dried yet fresh, not dead, just kept on hold.
And never before have the scattered children of Éire had such an opportunity for noble service. Today you can serve not only Ireland but the world. A cruel war and a more cruel peace have shattered the generous of soul. Apathy mocks the high-minded, and heartless cynicism points the way of selfishness.
Tá marmar cho flúirseach ar a maile seo go le cosáin dianta den gloch bháin, timpeall café atá riare ag tuairgín maná an imigéin. Ní léir go gurn sé éon bhuairteoirí héin, nar an grán a bhfuil cois elephant fé sa chlós las mó, go bhfuil rian na hiasachta ar a ganúid thuata a labhrann si a phreatháilte ar bhaintear na háite. Siúlann si chomh maol is dámach crús go lán á úmparice ar a ceann. A súil, stáidúil a taistil ó dhuine go duine den slua, go dtíon airg a bhúr tha réan na gnoc úd hawl.
We, the children of a race that has endured for ages the blights of war and the disappointments of peace, who have had the cup of the fruition of hope dashed from our lips in every decade, and have not despaired, whose temper has never soured, but who have always looked forward for the good in tomorrow. The world needs what we can give it today.
Ar a Skyline os mo chóir, tá tá fearr béal faoi ar bhruach na habhain. Tá tíléna dheargair is bríste gearr, lealaigh caiteige ar ghrána imíne, mar a bheith siúnta cos tine sa saoire buí. An éon ar chomhlaidir an radio á rá nach fad anois go leathaigh an leacair is go dreimáigh an talamh, go leagfar na fallaí atá tóg going adring is an drorod atá teacht. An pictiúr chun beo go dúrfáin leabhar gur bhéidir de láimh a híine ar ghrompla na dílan is an Rio Grande, gúling an athair a chruthe is a rá leis I ganúint huata de bhéir is de húl. Gútar a feheh leis chéin is a inín ghaun, I maille chun geall le marmar, mar bhfuil ban le freiháilt go ciúin ar gach stróin séir dá dagan chúi, I lorg tearman an duinean I grí an duine. I bhfad éireann an bharige is a deora gort gan teoring.
It is still our mission to show the world the might of moral beauty, to teach mankind peace and happiness in keeping the law of love, doing to our neighbour what we would have our neighbour do to us. We are the spear point of the hosts in political slavery. We can be the shafts of dawn for the despairing and the wretched everywhere.
Rhyme, reed and road. Come dance with me onto these pages, hornpipe over crotchets and bars. Let's shuffle and rhyme variations of St. Patrick or Old Bonaparte. Retreat o'er Loch Derg and its rushes, Loch Athorig and Loch Cutra beyond, where music and rhyme sing like thrushes of traditional dance, words and song. From big houses, poor houses, church prayer, crossroads, at the lead-in of tunes or couplets in verse, you'll hear tell of the Cayleys, the piper and rhymer, Curly and Mary Liz, where Rosin and Bow rolled out their reels round the slopes of Ballinackill. Let's lead round to a mehel at Portumna Castle, watch Piper Curly playing away. Him and the cheeky Winky chanced at the Royal Princess Mary, playing puck perhaps, methinks, piping an air or a planxty. The swell of his drones and chanter echoed through the Adam's Gate and washed over Lord Lascelles. He made of that day a colourful scale for Lady Gregory and her swans and cool. He played for her too, sipped her hot brew, a sight better, said he, than the fair-haired tea poured in Portumna's workhouse. Hat on his head, pipes on his back, from Shannon's banks through Derry Goulin, Derry Crag and Derry Brine, Curly's hobnail boots, bellows and reeds played every turn of reel and road. Mary Liz Flannery and her smoke-stained hands needed no electric light, no running water, no far-off lands, just freckles of ink for her bardic lines. To her lifelong friends she penned fond farewells and ballads to her dogs and hens. Her longhand verse placed in many a hearse known the length of the River Shannon. Each bend and bush, each oak and ash, from Alandara's woodlands green, with swallows and starlings flew into her rhymings, along with the murmuring streams. Come slip your jig to the softest lilt that lights road for poet and piper, from Luscon to Woodford, up to Ballinackill. The throat is cleared, the notes revealed, in the sweet milk and sugar of fiddle and flute. Step out through time to the dance hall floor, with Rafferty, Maloney, Whelan and White, pouring tunes like tea, good and strong. To the pipe on the hob, the feet find their beat, in the to and fro, the advance and retire, and round the house, the floggen reel, the carrow jig, a waltz, a two-step, a high-called cap, the floor freshly licked, battered by trebles of feet. A century on, feet still tapping, tap, tap, hands still clapping, clap, clap, to a piper's tune. The bard's blank page still an open space for rhyme, reed and road.
Running from a flaming post office and shoving the barrel of a rifle down my brother's neck. December 1921, and until today, it was the last time I spoke to him. He'd opened his mouth to plead before I'd heard the voice of our father screaming a spell we knew from an old storybook. The next thing, we were away out on the laps of Loch Corrib, flapping murderous wings at one another, while men on the shore buried their noisy dead. 100 years I spent visiting each shingled island, trying to find another way to spite him. Every swan I fell in love with withered and sank eventually, like heavy linen in the murk water. Until I met my brother again at the Galway Claddagh, our feet still webbed, feathers dripping, ignored by the child with the tricoloured loop-de-loop, by the juggler who tossed shapes that looked like countries. We didn't recognise the tongues we'd heard, and so we looked at one another and laughed at our cursed immortality until we grew fingers again and felt our skin crease with the creep of years. Holding ourselves against the cold, our eyes went to the canal where a swan drifted straight and proud as the white between two flags.
1904. To Jim, I am Ireland. I am island-shaped, he says, small as the Muglins, a woman splayed and hungry, waiting for her lover. I am limestone and grass, heather and granite. I am rising paps and cleft of valley. I am the raindrops that soak and the sea that rims the coast. Jim says I am harp and shamrock, tribe and queen. I am high cross and crowned heart. I am turf, he says, and bog cotton. I am the sun pulling the moon to smile over the Mamturk mountains. I am pirate queen and cattle raider. I am his blessed little blackguard. I am, he says, his auburn marauder. I am his honourable barnacle goose. Nora, Jim says, you are syllable, word, sentence, phrase, paragraph and page. Your fat vowels and shushing sibilants. Nora, Jim says, you are story. (1921). I am a fresh map now, all flux and flow. I am Dublin, where our union seeded and love bloomed. I am the glacial air of Zurich, made warm by womanhood. I am Pola, tatering with unrest, a temporary lay-by. I am the Bora that sings down from the Carso over sea-jewelled Trieste, the city of my mothering. I am my daughter's grace and malady, my son's melody and gloom. I am Paris, that lamp for lovers that lured us back and back. I am Wagner and La Bohème and the Lass of Ockram. I am, and am not, plump Molly, all plabber in the nest of her bed. I am Galway still, an ill-fitting shawl around altered shoulders. I am Nora. I am my own story. I am Nora. I own my own story.
I am the sea that rings the coast. I am the raindrops that soak.